Hello, everyone. I'm here with Vanessa Lougoon from Australia, Divine Soul Blueprint reader, energetic, just storyteller. I'm so wise and so well versed in everything energetic, and I even things that I don't know. and she has been in the Singularity Circle for the last 6 months, and she was the winner actually of the first round ever of the Singularity Circle. And she just finished up, and now she's doing Divine Soul Blueprint readings and a couple other things. But what I want to get into before we get into what she's promoting and how she's transforming people is exactly how did you get involved with Soul Blueprint work, energetic work, and all the stuff that you're currently doing.
Oh, well, thank you for the lovely introduction. So I have been doing this work for years. So I was an exercise physiologist. I've been working with mind-body connection for quite a number of years. And what I was finding is I could only get my clients so far, but I knew that there was a mental component, a subconscious component. And, I did my undergrad in psych and psychophysiology, but, didn't want to become a psychologist. And then I came across emotional freedom technique and then Reiki because I was very interested in alternative healing. And then, then from that, I got into the Akashic Records, which is where your soul blueprint resides. And I thought, well, how can I get more access to this without being a hypnotist? Because that's how I got into it in the first place, through a lady who I did my EFT training, who's a hypnotist and does quantum EFT, which is EFT of the soul. And then I came across the Akashic Records training where, it was a lot more direct, it was a lot more practical. And that's how I came across it toward, around this time last year. When I came across it, I thought, wow, this is a great way, and it's easy, it's practical, and it's very usable. Because one of the things that I noticed about last year was a gap between mind, body, and spirit. So a lot of people do mind and body or just spirit, but not the whole three of them. So I thought, wow, this is a great way to integrate all three. And that's what I do as part of my work. So I get into the Akashic Records to read people's Divine Soul Blueprint, but then I apply it across mind, body, and spirit, because we need integration, because we can't create any results in our life unless we actually take action and apply it to our physical lives.
Yes. And tell us more about what is your soul blueprint, and then how can you find that out? Because full disclosure, Vanessa and I did a session together, and my soul blueprint came out as divine order. And when she said that, I was like, yep. And she's like, you got to be careful so it doesn't go too much, because then it gets into like OCD and too much order and like strictness. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've done EFT and Reiki beforehand, and I've been heavily on my spiritual path for the last 7 years, especially. I have been, for the last 15 years, but right into it. And until I came across this work, it's blown my mind, because I've done my own, I've done quite a lot of people's now. And, we're going through times where, as a collective, we're all starting to awaken quite rapidly. And we're stepping more into our fifth dimensional consciousness, which means we're gaining greater awareness of who we are at soul level. But that's also includes, so we're becoming more intuitive. A lot of us don't know how to handle that or what that actually means. And also, we're also becoming more aware of our misalignments. So what this work does is it's been clarifying for a lot of people, because they've, awakened, and they've been getting all these messages to do things, some completely different to, what they've done all their life. And, there's parts of themselves that they've denied because it hasn't been socially accepted in their family or environments. And, a lot of the people come away from my work clarified, very, satisfied that, yes, they are listening to the right guidance. you know, it is okay to be a particular way. Yes, it confirms that this is who they are and it's okay. And they walk away almost with the permission that it's, you know, they can do what they want, and, you know, they don't have to feel guilty about being who they are, or, you know, they can embrace these aspects that they've been denying. And also with the misalignments also, you know, a lot of the stuff, I see a lot of people that have been doing a lot of inner work and they keep coming up with the same issues. And a lot of these are soul level issues, meaning that they haven't originated from this lifetime. So part of my work, well, you know, a lot of my work is to, you know, identify these from previous lifetimes and how they're affecting you today. Because in order for us to heal, we have to gain consciousness of why something exists in the first place. Because to fully heal, we have to make a new choice. And if we don't know what we're making a new choice over, you know, we might be able to make a new choice once or twice, but then often we revert back to the same old patterns because we don't really have that conscious understanding. So this work really hones in on those things.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember, and I remember our session, and it was so in depth, and it went all the way from past life stuff to Akashic records to actionable tips and tools and exercises for me to do as well after. So if somebody was interested in, you know, Akashic records, in EFT, in emotional freedom technique, and lots of those other things, and soul work, where
Yes.
do you recommend that, like, if they were to go to your website, do you offer courses? Do you offer sessions? What would be the best step if you were to just dive into this, that you're getting all these messages, you're feeling like you want to change, you're feeling like you want to step out of your comfort zone and embrace who you are, or something like that? How could they reach out to you, and what would be their first step in delving into this work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I offer group sessions. I mean, when I say group session, package session, one-on-one sessions. So the work I do is very deep, all right? So I used to offer one-on-one stuff, which I still do, but my preference is to see people on an ongoing way. So I offer a 3-session package, and I do offer a premium package where you work with me for 3 months. But for viewers of this and all my subscribers, I am actually offering a special offer where you can come and see me as a once-off. Now, this is appropriate for anyone that's already working with a coach and just wants to know their blueprint so they can take to the coach and they can get more specific. It's appropriate for someone who's already doing a lot of inner work, and this information will really help them be more specific. Or it could be for someone who is, you know, is maybe looking to work with someone short term, and, you know, they can get this session, have a, you know, get to know me, and, you know, if they would like, they can do some more work. So I do offer this. I haven't put it, it's on my website, but in a, you know, it's not public on my website. So what I'll do is after this session, I will post the link under in the comment section of this video. If you email me, Vanessa at Vanessa Lougoon, LOUGOON.com, you can email me and ask about that session. Now there's 2 available. So there's the standard blueprint session, where you get to find out all your gifts and energies, abundant energies, your soul group of origination, your soul specializations, and we do the clearing. And then also, I've recently, I don't know if I've told you this, Isabel, but I've actually recently done training in manifesting soul blueprint. So you've got your actual soul blueprint, which is who you are at soul level. The soul manifesting blueprint is how to align with it. And that itself, I've only just recently completed the training, and that has just blown my mind.
I am sure, because I know, like, when you talk to Vanessa or when you go to her site, you're gonna, like, geek out over this stuff, because this is who Vanessa is. This is how She takes classes, she learns everything, and then she just gives it all to you. Like she's an encyclopedia of knowledge with this. So I remember the first email I got from her, and I still have like, I think there's still parts of it that are unread because of all this information. But to have all that information and then have Vanessa synthesize it into aligned action steps to speed up the process of alignment, instead of just like, okay, I have all this information, now what do I do? You know, I love that you're doing this synthesizing of both.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I love it. I'm a metaphysics geek.
Yes.
And, I've just been in a search, I've just been in the search for, deeper understanding. I'm one of those why people. Why? I have to know why. And, being that intellectual can get you down a few rabbit holes and, can waste a bit of time. But that's just who I am, and I've fully embraced it. And, the thing about the soul manifesting blueprint is, anyone that's here probably has done a lot of reading on law of attraction, manifestation. And what we do with the soul manifesting blueprint is we have a look at 7 polarities of ways to manifest, because, we're told all these different ways to manifest. But what I've learned is it only works for half the population, depending on which end of the polarity of these 7 scales that we use. And I did mine recently, and how I'm designed to manifest is complete opposite to what's this, we're taught at school, what we're taught in, society. And it's like, wow, no wonder I've struggled to get some certain outcomes. So, and a lot of people that do all these readings are trying so hard to manifest things in their lives, and, they can't get anywhere because they're not aligned with who they are with the manifesting blueprint that they have. And I'll just give you an example. So one of the comparatives is similar and contrast. So you either manifest, by being around people and situations similar to you, or contrast. And I am heavily contrast, but I've been acting similar. And, you've heard the saying, you are who the 5
Yes.
closest people. That applies to people who are similar, but not contrast. And also, another comparative is process and outcome. Outcome meaning that you focus on the outcome, and that informs your actions. Process meaning that you focus in the in moment, and by aligning with that, you get a good outcome, but they're not so focused on the outcome. I'm heavily process, but I've always focused on outcome. And, in schools and sport and business, it's always told, focus on the outcome, focus on the outcome. But that's actually quite toxic for a person who's a process. So it's just blown my mind, this work, to another level. I thought, no, I can't have my mind blown any more than what I did when I first started this training. But in the last few weeks or months, it's like, wow.
That is huge. And I'm just thinking about the things you mentioned, because I think I'm similar and process. That's so interesting.
Yeah, and another one is consistency and variable. And I'm on the variable side, and being consistent is actually toxic for me. And, it's like, I remember staring at the page for about 5 minutes when I first got my soul blueprint, manifesting blueprint. And then I reflected back on my life when things, were abundant. And I'm thinking, yeah, things have always happened in unconventional ways where I've just kind of gone with the flow. Whenever I've been consistent, that hasn't worked. So it's just, it's just been a struggle. So it's just really confirming, looking back and just going, wow, I can't believe this is happening, and you've just got to be, the other thing is a lot about my work is you've just got to have a level of non-judgment about yourself and everyone involved, because, we all try hard, we all do our research, we're all trying to improve ourselves. And this work just helps you refine that process, because I had a moment when I got my blueprint where I thought, all this last 7 years of, hard work for nothing, I've wasted all that time. I had a moment, and we all do, because, we live in polarity. We have good and bad thoughts. And I was like, okay, this is good. I'm glad I know this now and not ever, So it's just so important that whatever process you're at, you just accept yourself unconditionally in any given moment, because, we're all trying to do our best, as, the best we can with the tools that we've got at the time. And that's why, this work is so powerful, because, I've spent 7 years getting to this point, but, doing this work with me can really save you a lot of time.
I think so too. Imagine if, schools had that for students, and discovering, even just, I have a book that I work with my clients, and it's like the Strengths Finder 2.0, just doing that quiz, and then we get together. By the time we do consulting together, I know exactly what their strengths are, what they should do, what they should not do, but then having their soul blueprint, and then having their process, like how they work better, which contrast, those polarities, to understand that for a coach or for a consultant or for a company. To have that it would streamline things. It would make sure everyone is using their strengths and their best abilities without feeling that competition or that negativity. Instead, it's bringing more of that collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'd be interesting to see where this sort of work goes in the next 5 to 10 years, because, I know that corporations use psychology tests and all of that, and that's good to a point, but they're really tests for the ego.
Yes. It's ego testing, and then after a while, when it's just ego, the current world and the current paradigm we have has been built on scarcity and fear and ego, which it worked for a while, because we were in survival mode and we had to learn to survive and use everything around us in our environment. But now, with technology, with how things have evolved so quickly, we are, especially in the West, in the US, in Australia, New Zealand, parts of Europe, we are living in really abundant times. And to not come from that place and still operate from scarcity, I think is going to either hold us back as a collective, and not move us forward, and probably have some more negativity come our way instead of some more positive evolution moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, because we are all stepping more into our fifth dimensional awareness, you can't undo consciousness. You can't pretend that it's not there. When people are starting to become more intuitive, and it's highlighting their misalignments, you can't ignore that stuff. You can only do it up until a certain point before, some 3-dimensional experience happens, like a sickness or a major, drama in your life occurs, before you have to take notice. And what I'm noticing also is, especially males, okay? I know, we're involved in quite a lot of online groups that are mostly females, but I'm more and more, especially in the last month, I'm having conversations with males that are, in their 30 plus, that are really awakening and are really kind of in the, the closet, so to speak, but really want to get into this sort of stuff, but don't know how, because, New Age, metaphysics, spirituality, I mean, it's becoming it gets a bit of a fluffy rap. And especially if you're around scientists, like I've got a lot of scientist friends who are, in the medical profession. And, even when I talked about EFT, they looked at me as if I was talking, fluff. So, but it's not fluff. It's becoming scalable. There's some very intelligent people out there, using technology to make all of this stuff scalable. And, people are really wanting to open up to it. It's not just males, it's females as well. I was in the closet for a long time because I needed to get some sort of, intellectual, validity in my own head around it.
Yeah, because you don't want to, there is that story around this stuff that this is weird, it's woo-woo, it's spiritual, it's not practical. Whereas, especially because you had the scientific background, the physiology background, and then you were trying to merge these two. It's so beautiful to see how you have merged those two. And now it is becoming more and more, especially EFT. I feel like EFT is growing. It's still only in a couple pockets here and there. I think it's a little bit more big in Europe. And then it's getting a little more big in Australia. US is kind of, it's moving forward, but it's more pockets here and there. And I think we are now leading the way in making it approachable, making it, sharing results people have had with this. And you start seeing things on like Oprah, on different medical shows, that they're using these as complementary therapies, complementary tools to help personal development happen, instead of just like, this is the only way that you can use to get better, right? That's the divine order.
Yes.
Because like, I know the right way, nobody else. Instead of being open and saying, this is a really great way that has been tested and solid for a long time. What if we added something else to it? And what if we added something else to it? And then not everyone fits this mold. Using a little bit of everything, I think, is a more healthy and more evolving way of how we're moving forward.
Absolutely. And there's some amazing, I mean, I do soul realignment, EFT, and Reiki, but there's so many amazing healing modalities that essentially aim to do the same thing. And, people are led to different things depending on their background. Okay. So, this is a really important message also, is there's, all roads lead to Rome, as they say. So, if you are choosing a particular path, go with what resonates with you at the time, because it's all vibration. You're attracted to the people that you resonate. I have a look back at my teachers, and they've always been perfect at the right times, and and not getting attached to it either, because that person might be good for you for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, but then they might not be after that, and you'll find someone new or a new group, and you've just really got to trust yourself and how you feel, and just go with your intuition of what works best for you.
Great advice. I think, thank you so much for sharing your journey and how you've stepped into this. And of course, always the lifelong learning as an entrepreneur and just as a human being and storyteller in general. If people want to find out more about EFT, about Akashic Records, about soul realignment, about Reiki, where can they find you, and any other resources that you would like to share that have helped you along the way?
Yeah, so just go to my website, www.vanessalougoon.com. Now, I will post after this talk the link to my special offer about getting your Divine Soul Blueprint and Manifesting Blueprint done. You can email me at vanessa@vanessalougoon.com. So I do have an opt-in on my page where you can sign up and receive a 5-day Vibe Up Challenge, which is just really 5 days of very simple exercises in under 15 minutes a day of just becoming better connected to your intuition. And I've found them the best exercises of all the ones I've tried over the years, because doing this work, you don't have to spend an hour a day meditating, doing yoga, all of that. You can actually do it in under 15 minutes and, be a highly conscious person. It's all intentionality. So sign up for that, download it. If you have any problems with that, just email me. But I'm looking forward to seeing who shows up and who I get to meet as a result of this, because like I said, I'm starting to get quite a contrast of people come to me now that I've recognized contrast. I'm getting all these different types of people wanting to come to work with me, and it's just so interesting, the backgrounds of people that love this stuff and what they do. And it's just everyone's serving the world in some way, whether they're a cafe owner, a gardener, a teacher, a coach. It's just people do it in their own unique way, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
Ooh, thank you so much, Vanessa, and I look forward to seeing more of your work and everything scaling and everything growing. And thank you so much for sharing your story
Oh,
today.
thank you so much for the interview today, and thank you everyone for joining. And yeah, I look forward to the next one, whenever
Yes.
that shall be.
Yes. Bye.
All right. Bye.